Hello, my name is Neeraj Bizlani. Today we understand PII in the cloud environment. So what is PII? It's a personally identifiable information which indicates a particular individual. It may be the individual first name, last name, date of birth, social security number, which can identify the individual. That relates to PII. So regulated PII, as the name suggests, it depends on the regulations. And the second entity is called contractual PII. As the name suggests, it depends on the contractual requirements between the cloud service providers and the customers. So let's have a closer look on the regulated PII first, and then we can move to contractual PII. So regulated PII must have to satisfy regulatory requirements like HIPAA and GLBA. GLBA is based on the Financial Modernization Act of 1999 and is a federal law enacted in the United States. So this deals with the complete financial institutions in the United States, that deals with the customers' data like credit card data, uh, any money transfer data. It's all related with the financial organization institutions in the United States. And HIPAA is for healthcare information and healthcare organizations which can protect health information records of the customers in the health organizations. So it depends purely on the health information of the patients. So organizations protects the uh, data, PII data is based on the HIPAA compliance. So regulatory PII must adhere is required under law and statutory requirements. So there are many reasons why we involve regulations, right? So in case, suppose in case of uh, financial sector, so organizations should take care of educate protections of the credit card data and other transactions data, protects the customers and their consumers, take a due care, establish base level of security controls and processes, provide transparency among the customers, partners, and other industries. These all regulations defines some standards which organizations establish in their environment to protect the all regulated PII data in the environment for their customers, right? So for the example, like mandatory breach reporting, where 47 states in the United States, right? So they have there is some kind of reporting mechanism. If any breach happens in any of the organization, it reports in entire United States, right? So that's a mandatory breach reporting that takes care of all the updated reporting on any of the breaches happened in any of these organizations like HIPAA organizations, financial organizations that deals with these PII data. And then move on to contractual PII. So contractual PII include hosting contract along with overarching component within SLA. So it basically involves scope of processing. So permission types of data processing, so use of subcontractors. So it mainly based on the contract, right? So here it will involve subcontractors, which who can process the data, who have the permission to process the data. But in as we saw in regulatory PII, where there is a requirement based on the regulations compliance, right? Here is most of the data is used in the operations, and subcontractors, entity, location, all is concerned here. How the data is processed, how the data is stored, how the data is deleted is all done by subcontractors, right? So this all defined. This all should be defined in the scope and in the SLAs of the contract between the cloud service provider and the customer. So how the data will be returned back to the customer? There should be a provision how the data should be returned back to the customer if the contract is not there, if the contract is finished, is complete. How the right to audit subcontractor, whether you are using the right subcontractors for processing of data, if is there any malicious, if there any attacker sitting in the subcontractor who can steal the data for the customer. So right to audit the subcontractor, right to audit audit clauses and requirements. Appropriate or required data security control should be maintained in the organization. So everything should go in the contract, starting from the scope and how the data should be processed, stored, and the end of the contract. At the end of the contract, what will happen to the data? What will happen to the subcontractors? What will happen to the if the contract is renewed, right? What is the data retention policies? Everything should be aligned with the contractual PII, right? So this is all. We have seen the differences between the regulated PII and contractual PII, and this holds a very important role in the United States and in the cloud solutions. So most of the organizations adhere to this uh, um, regulated PII and contractual PII to protect their PII data in their organizations. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you like it. Bye. Take care.